Yo, what's up YouTube? Edwin the Comic Jabroni coming at you. And as many of you guys know, I have moved from San Antonio to the state of Georgia through the reserves. But for today and tomorrow, I'm actually in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and I keep getting told about a Second in Charles, which seems to me kind of like a Half Price Books. So in today's video, I'm going into a Second in Charles for the first time, and we're gonna see what kind of comics I can come away with. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. So welcome back YouTube. Like I said, Edwin the Comic Jabroni coming at you, and as you can tell, I'm in the new spot here in Augusta, Georgia. Thank you everybody for all the well wishes and everything that was sent my way. I made it here safely. I went up to Fort Bragg, North Carolina first. I was there for a few days, and then I drove down here to Augusta, where I am now in my apartment for the next 11 months or so. But if you caught the very beginning of the video, you know that I went to my very first Second in Charles. And not only did I go to one, I actually went to two. There's one that I went to in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and when I drove down here to Augusta, I went to another Second in Charles down here. And let me tell you something, I absolutely love Second in Charles, guys. It's just like Half Price Books from home in San Antonio, but bigger. It's probably like 3 or 4 times the size of a Half Price Books. And in this place, they have comics and they have movies and they have books and they have all sorts of stuff in there. And it is an amazing store. They actually have new comics, which is something that Half Price Books does not have. They actually get the new comics that we would see on Wednesdays. And then they got fried pie variants and all sorts of stuff in there. And I absolutely loved it. But I did pick up a stack of comics while I was just kind of rummaging through. And I have not, there's actually 2 of them here in Augusta. I have not hit up the second one yet. But I did go through the first one just for a little bit, about an hour or so, and I picked a few things from there, but I can tell you this, I will be going back. And on top of that, I actually found 2 local comic shops here in Augusta, Georgia that I will be hitting up. One of them, I've already set up a pull list there, a subscription box, so I'll be continuing to go to that place, and it's called Top Dog Comics. I've talked to the owner, I've met the people that work there, absolutely love that store. I cannot wait to build and form a relationship, right? That's the biggest part of local comic shops. If you find one that you really enjoy, get to know the people there, right? Don't just go in, get your comics and leave, talk to them. You know, let them know what your interests are and what you like, and if they ever find any of those kind of books that you really are into, hey, they might give you a call, they might text you, they'll hold them for you. So that's something big that I advocate for, guys, is get to know the owners and the people that work at the local comic shops that you go to on a weekly basis. But enough of that. I hope you kind of like this setup. This is going to be the setup for the time being, guys. For the next 11 months or so. I put some stuff up on the wall behind me just so it's not super boring when you watch one of the Comic Jabronis videos. But let's get into the books that I picked up. All of these books I paid less than $2. It was either $2 or $1. Very cheap. I absolutely love Second Charles. But we're gonna get into Indies, then DC Marvel, and we'll finish it up there. But let's go. Cowabunga! All right, first book from Amalgam, right? I love those Amalgam series from back in the 90s. This is X Patrol issue number 1, I believe. yeah, issue number 1. So this is kind of like a fusion between, I guess, the X-Men and the Teen Titans. Absolutely love that. Next up, I have been interested in Boris the Bear ever since I found that first one not too long ago at I think I found it at Half Price Books, but here is Boris the Bear, issue number 7. And this one is actually from Dark Horse Comics. And we've got Boris the Bear. This is issue number 8. There we go, the extra hype special. And as you could tell, one of the biggest reasons I picked this one up is he's actually digging graves for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But on the cover, he actually calls them the Teenage Radioactive Black Belt Mutant Ninja Critters. So I dig that. Also picked up for $1. This is from First Comics, John Sable Freelance, issue number 1. For $1, this is the first appearance of this character that I have no clue about, but I can't help myself with key issues, right? First appearances of these characters. You never know when somebody is gonna wanna make a Netflix or a Hulu show out of John Sable. So there's issue number 1, and I also picked up issue number 11, which is actually the first appearance of, I think it's this woman here, which is the Cat. She's like Catwoman, she's a burglar. So boom, I picked that one up. And then the last indie book that I picked up is called RPM. This is issue number 1 from 12 Gauge. I paid $1 for that. And the biggest reason I picked this one up, guys, is because at the top it says that it's actually created by Mick Foley. I'm a huge wrestling fan, so there you go. Mankind, Mick Foley created this comic, so definitely want to pick that up. I've never read this. I haven't read it yet. I don't know anything about it. If you guys have read it, let me know what you think of it. But those are the indies. Let's get into Marvel. Cowabunga! All right, first one from Marvel that I picked up. They had a nice run of like New Warrior stuff, and I don't really know too much about New Warriors, but what I did is I pulled out my Key Comic Collector app, or Key Collector Comics app, and I looked up, hey, what are some key issues in New Warriors? And they had issue number 2 from the New Warriors. There's something key about this. I can't remember what it is, but there you go. And for $1, hey, you can't beat it. Here's another one for $1 I picked up. This is New Warriors issue 21. I believe that this is the Folding Circle. This is the first appearance of this team, the Folding Circle. I also picked up issue 28 from New Warriors, and I picked up 2 of them because one is the direct edition, and then the other one is the newsstand. And this is also a first appearance of somebody on there. I can't tell you who, I don't really remember. They also had some Punisher books at this second Charles that I went to, the Max series, which I always heard is really good. And this is Punisher issue 54. Now this is the death of somebody, but I don't remember. So let's keep it going. And I paid $1 or $2. I paid $2 for that, guys. That's not bad at all. Here is Quasar issue number 6. Now the reason I picked up this Quasar issue 6 is, although there's a Second Charles sticker down here, this is actually the first Venom story outside of Amazing Spider-Man. At least that's what the Collector app told me. Then you would see Venom right there. And it says right here, featuring the Watcher, Living Laser, the Red Ghost, and, oh yes, Venom. So yeah, pick that one up. And this was what, $2? Hey, I paid $2, whatever. Let's see. And then the last one, I couldn't believe it. For $1, I picked this up. This is Fantastic Four issue 330. Really cool Dr. Doom cover there. Can never pass up a Dr. Doom. And yeah, $1, guys, as you can tell right there. So pick those Marvel books up from Half Price Book. Second and Charles. There are no Half Price books here in Augusta. But let's get into the DC titles. Cowabunga! All right, first book up from DC. This is week 23 of the 52 series. I paid $1.95 for that. And this one is the death of Osiris, one of those two, which is like the brother-in-law of Black Adam, right? And he, in this issue, he actually dies like a super gruesome death. He's actually eaten by this alligator, this man alligator crocodile. I don't know what the heck. It's a pretty gruesome death, but I picked that one up. Also picked up issue 49 of week 50 or 52. $1.95 for this one. There is something key about this. I can't really remember what it is. Recently on the DC Universe app, I read this story, all 12 issues of it, and it is Camelot 3000. And this is issue number 1. Paid 95 cents for this. If you guys are into King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table and Merlin and all that jazz, you guys will enjoy Camelot 3000. This is kind of not a retelling of King Arthur, but it's King Arthur in the future. It's an amazing story. It's a really great story, and you can actually read it on the DC Universe app, but it is 12 issues. They had issue number 1, which I've been looking for since I read that a few months ago. So there you go, there's issue number 1. And then I picked up Green Lantern 49, which is one that I've been looking for a while. This is kind of a classic cover, right? Where they've made some awesome homages to this with Hal Jordan. He's got all the Green Lantern rings. Precious, my precious. Yeah, man. So they had issue 49. I was hoping that I could find the DC Universe logo variant for this, but hey, they had this one, and I paid, what did I pay for this? $1.95. And then they had issue 51 with Kyle Rayner. This is not the first appearance of Kyle Rayner, which is, I think, issue 48. But 51 is where you actually see him take on that role of Green Lantern. So I really enjoyed that. And again, this one does have a DC Universe logo variant, but they didn't have it there. But hey, I'll take this, and I paid $1.95 for that, guys. So yeah, that's the haul that I got from Second and Charles, guys. If you have never been to a Second and Charles, I really I believe that is a store that you should be hitting up in your local area, right? If you live in a place where they either have a half-price books or they have a Second and Charles, definitely go check those places out. Hey, thanks for watching the video. This is the first one in the new man cave apartment of the Comic Jabroni. You did? Yeah, huh? So, guys, I will start live streaming. I'll start dropping content here on a regular basis pretty soon. I'm just kind of getting everything set up in the apartment, but I wanted to get this video out to you because there are people out there in the community that don't know about a Second and Charles, and I feel like you should know all about it. Guys, thanks for watching. Edwin the Comic Jabroni. Remember to hit that subscribe button, right? Check out the other videos on my channel. Have a great day. Take it easy. Peace.